Hello friends and family, and welcome back to Day 2 of the 2023 U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, presented by Discraft. Coverage brought to you by Ace Run Pro, and this is our last PDGA Major of the year. My name is Holly Finley.
And I'm Raven Klein. Cuckoo, cachoo, here comes round 2. We are in Burlington, North Carolina at the beautiful Cedar Rock, is it a state park?
I don't know.
It's a park in the state. That is just what I'm going to stick with. And we are playing the Regulator course. This course has been really fun so far. Some tight wooded lines, but still some gettable pars. And I'm excited for Day 2.
I realized yesterday that I've actually played this course 10 years ago at a Sneaky Pete event.
I think Ellen was telling me about that because she mentioned Sneaky Pete.
First up, Valerie Mandujano, currently sitting at 100% putting in C1X. Next up, Silva Saarinen, 100% scramble rate in round 1.
Next on the card, we have Sarah Hokom. She is first in C2 in regulation and fairway hits. And then we have Jessica Weese, who is currently 4th in the scramble rate at 88%. Starting off, hole 1, par 4, 559 feet, a wide open shot. Up to you based on what you want your second shot to look like, if you find the left, center, or right side to be a more preferable landing zone. Leaving you, whatever you have, going through the gap and then down to the basket. There is a bit of a slope as you get down here, so if you come in too fast, you can skip down the hill and make it a more difficult uphill putt for the birdie, but a very gettable hole 1.
Yesterday's conditions were ideal, but today we're dealing with a bit more wind. That's an improvement from Valerie's drive the previous day.
Silva Saarinen.
Very smooth throw from Silva.
Landing the same distance as Valerie.
You can just hear that wind. Sarah with a good drive. No one's really trying to get too much on this because of the wind. Placement is more important.
Jessica Weese with a turnover halo destroyer, safe and in the middle of the fairway.
Jessica Weese in good position just for a simple backhand hyzer into the basket. And looked like it might be a little too fast, but actually checks up nicely and she'll have a birdie putt.
Hokom standstill forehand to about 38 feet, putting for birdie downhill.
Silva had good distance and she almost went too far, cutting off her hyzer angle, but she gets a good tree kick and she'll be putting for birdie as well.
Do you prefer one side of the fairway over the other?
I like the left side of the fairway to go for more of the hyzer approach, and then leaving it a little short and planning for the skip.
Valerie goes circle's edge left of the basket. Hokom's birdie bid was just a tad short. Drop in par for her.
Valerie's birdie bid also low, sliding just outside the bullseye.
Jessica Weese for birdie. Good putt on the first hole. Oh, that's the jacket we got in Vegas.
Silva also in for birdie.
Valerie in for par. Valerie and Mason have matching shorts on.
I love it.
I do too. Hokom in for par. Two birdies, two pars, strong start from our chase card. Hole 2, a very wooded par 3, 279 uphill. Off the tee, you have a very tight main fairway to work with. If you want to try to park it, you can with an hyzer angle. Otherwise, a straight shot will get you to the edge of the circle and give you a putt. It's a very obstructed green with trees, rocks, and roots. So a lot of times you might see that luck is involved to actually get up here inside the bullseye. Silva up first. She looks ahead and checks the wind. Hits that middle tree, kicks short.
Weese pures the line and just gets caught up on those guardian trees and rocks, but a great shot.
Valerie misses the big tree, makes it about 3/4 of the way down the fairway. Hokom with a forehand baby flex shot. She's made it pin deep right outside the whiskers, putting for birdie from 39 feet. Let's see if Silva can keep up that 100% scramble rate from yesterday.
That is, I mean, it makes sense why she's on the chase card if you have a scramble rate that high.
Ooh, Valerie with a chain tickle on that jawbreaker plastic. Have you seen that? It looks so cool.
It's really cool.
Don't tell Innova I said that.
Oh,
Silva almost making good for her scrambles off the band.
dang it.
Weese's halo turn got up here and gave her a birdie look. Can she float the Sonic in? Not this time.
Good putt from Hokom.
Felt like she started running before it was in the chains.
Hey, when you know, when it's dead center.
Oh, she's taken off. She knew it. What a great putt. Have you gotten a birdie on this one yet?
I have, yes.
In the tournament?
Yeah.
Yes! Good for you.
Thank you.
What a good shot. Valerie in for par. It's not an easy one to get to.
No, I got caught up in the rocks and had an 8-foot putt.
Ooh, I love
It was
that.
perfect. Weese in for par. Valerie in for par. And Silva will take a bogey here on the second. Hole 3, par 5, 889 feet. Off the tee, you want to make sure you have a really good grasp on your nose angle. If you're not wanting to get too risky, you can play something straight and then move up the fairway. But in an ideal situation, you give it good height with a hyzer finish and get you more up the fairway. Your second shot, you want to avoid the OB along the right side without getting too pinched off, hopefully leaving your third shot to be an approach toward the basket. The OB gets really close though, so you have to decide how risky you want to be.
Sarah Hokom up first after a birdie on the second.
Takes the inner line and gets through everything.
What a lucky corner shot that was.
It's usually a little more risky to cut it that tight.
Jessica with a very controlled, very nose down angle, and that sets her up very nicely. Same distance as Sarah, more in the middle.
Valerie with the line I try to hit. Good shot, keeps her in the middle of the fairway and gets a little extra distance.
Silva with a higher, more aggressive route. Ooh, that's swinging around nicely, going 150 feet past the other competitors. As Raven mentioned, the second shot, just get as much distance as you can without leaking to that right side OB, and you're set up good to attack for birdie.
If your tee shot pushes too close to the OB, that's a beautiful shot by Jessica Weese. Wow. There's more airspace on the left. If you get too tight to the right, the low trees create a much more difficult approach. But all of these ladies in good position.
Valerie's second shot leaking towards the out of bounds, and unfortunately, it has found it. Spotter held up the wrong flag for a second. Silva opts for a more controlled standstill.
Good distance. She should still be in a good spot, even though she's just past the edge of the grass.
This is Valerie's fourth shot. Oh no, that was...
She opted to take her lie back from the pin to give her a better angle, but still caught that tree.
This is looking amazing from Sarah.
Hokom's third shot. Valerie swings her next shot wide and is outside the circle now.
This is Weese's third shot. Forehand, hyzered towards the green. Nice flare skip, and she'll have a 20-foot birdie putt. Luckily, Silva landed in that open area, not crunched down under a limb. She'll have a putt at the water.
I'll say where Valerie and Silva landed is a little bit of a scary putt.
Wow, no, Valerie, what a brave putt.
They just like to prove me wrong.
45 feet, Mandujano putting at the OB, just 8 to 10 feet directly behind the basket. Silva not to be outdone. Another C2 putt from this card. What a showing. She's acting like she makes C2s all day.
She does.
She's like, this is just another putt. I don't need to jog this in. Hokom misses the birdie putt a little left side.
Weese in for her birdie.
Her buddy.
And Hokom will have to settle for a par. That's a frustrating one.
Yeah, Hokom played that very well. Valerie saved the bogey with that massive putt. Hole 4, par 4, 487 feet. That same OB creek still on the right side here. Your tee shot can go inside left line through this middle section or just follow this mulch path. Get a nice hyzer flare skip landing about here. That will set you up with 150 to 200 feet uphill into the green, which should give you a look at a birdie 3. Jessica Weese up first. Going back to that halo turn, nice low hyzered angle, but she shoots it through that middle section of trees and drops down in them. Birdie's still an option from there with a really amazing second shot.
Silva goes high and right, catches a tree, and lands on the left side of the patch of trees in the middle, so her angle might be cut a little bit.
Hokom's forehand takes the inside left route. That's what we saw out of Own yesterday. She was able to get a birdie.
Valerie throwing something stable wide to hug the OB and gets a great skip up into the second part of the fairway. Silva was a little bit too pinched off to try and get a lot of forward progress, but plays a good shot into the gap. Oh, Weese going for the forehand roller, but catches the first tree.
Gets that third shot up there to the circle's edge. She'll have a par putt.
Hokom also out of position, just pitches out. Smart play. There's so many little, what do you call them, the pencil trees?
Yes.
On this hole that it's really not worth it to get too greedy. Hokom's third shot up into the basket area.
Valerie with an ideal drive, giving her a standstill second shot, putting for birdie from 18 feet. We saw Silva play a smart second shot, not being greedy, just a standstill chip. Standstill chip hyzer, which gave her a very short upshot into the green.
We still not with a clear shot for the basket.
Already taken one high number.
Valerie misses her putt slightly to the right side. Silva just has this tree in her way, but she's got a nice straddle. No problem for her. She makes good for the par.
She's a really good putter.
She is.
I was watching her around the practice green, and she really wasn't missing anything.
Have you played with her yet?
I don't think so.
Oh.
And Hokom misses another putt. That's 2 in a row from a short distance. I hope she can get on that birdie train here and get those putts rolling. She'll have to settle for a bogey here on the 4th. Mandujano tapping in the par. And as we said, she did not like the look of that putt. She's already taken a high number, so she does a little floater and decides to drop in the bogey.
Hole 5, par 3, 248 feet. This is a short little downhill hole. A lot of players are maybe throwing just a putter to float down there, or they pick up the speed to do maybe a forehand flex line, something like that, but this pin is elevated with an OB creek right behind, so if you do get a little bit too frisky and go for the basket, you could be leaking long very easily. The drop zone is not unfavorable, so I say go for it.
Silva opts for a standstill, starts the disc very
Oh
high.
my gosh, go for it? Oh, wow.
Shoulder, chest height. Almost aces it, but ends up long OB in the water. Well, on the logs.
Yeah, she doesn't seem too upset about it. This is probably one of the easiest drop zone par saves that we've seen at an event this year.
Valerie kicks early, halfway down the fairway. Jessica Weese up third. Good line from Weese, and
Beautiful shot.
she parks it. 15-foot birdie putt. Hokom's forehand standstill hits a tree. She'll have to scramble for par. Now she's over in the woods on the right side, looking for a gap. She found one. And it came in too hot. She has skipped out of bounds long behind the basket. The thing about it is the OB's so close, once you walk it in, it's practically a drop in anyway, so you're not going to lose more than one stroke if you go out of bounds behind the basket.
It's true.
Which is very similar to the previous hole.
Yeah. There are quite a few baskets here. Yep, no hesitation.
Silva in for par from the drop zone. Is this her mood normally? Just she makes a good putt and it's no big deal?
She is just very, yeah.
Okay.
She's very consistent, very, yep, I'm just disc golfing. Like, I'm here to.
Weese in for birdie. Hokom makes good for the bogey. I have to say, if I made that drop zone putt, I probably would have did a mini celebration. Skipped over there.
She did, didn't you see it?
No. Oh, I got you. The half smirk. Okay.
Yeah, because she's like, yeah, did it.
Now we're on to the next job.
Exactly.
At Discraft, we don't wait to see what the future holds. We build it. The future is in your hands.
Welcome back, Ace Runners, hole 6, par 5, 612 feet. Your drive must go over this out-of-bounds creek to end up in the ideal position. You can take this inside left route or go past it over to the higher side on the right side. We've seen some eagles here, so if you can get your second shot all the way up there, that'll give you an eagle bid, but there's no shame in just pitching to the mouth right there at the woods, getting your third shot up here, and having a birdie look. Jessica Weese up first after a birdie on the 5th. Forehand off the tee. She's on the high right side in ideal position.
Great shot. Silva second on the tee. Her shot is leaking into the right side, but misses a bad leaf grab there and stays on the edge.
Valerie hits the gap and looks to be in that middle section of trees.
4 for 4 off the tee with the group. Sarah looks like she got past the trees enough to have a good shot.
You have to play it like straight line. You get 4 inches from each side. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Valerie just checking her footing with the card mates.
Oh my
No
goodness,
hesitation.
Valerie. You had no... She...
It was like Mason was just loading a trebuchet.
Gosh. Take a millisecond. This is Sarah's second shot. You know, the Mandujano sisters are one of the fastest players in our division anyways. Oftentimes
True, but
the
that was
camera
even
guy
fast for them, I
misses
think.
their throws. I agree, that was a little swift. Sarah gets caught up on the second shot, but like I said, this is a par 5, so she could still scramble from there.
Silva pulled her shot a little bit to the right, but gets a good tree kick, and she's in the left section of the fairway from a standstill.
I believe on the stats you said that Silva was one of the girls to eagle this in a previous day.
I believe so. I think that was yesterday.
So this would be Valerie's third shot. And from this positioning, she'll have to go for a long birdie bid or just pitch it up for par. Sarah Hokom out of position, chips out to the fairway. And Hokom's got a lot of shot shapes, so for her not to be greedy and try to weave that towards the basket says a lot.
Yeah. She wanted not to have to weave too much and executed that perfectly under the basket. Valerie approaches to be under the basket. Silva with a little bit of a jump putt to do the same.
Silva had the long eagle bid. She'll have a drop-in birdie. Oh, darn. Another drop-in birdie.
Shoot. Hate when that happens.
I didn't even get the eagle. Man.
Weese in for birdie. Valerie in for par. Silva with the drop-in birdie. And Hokom with the par. Hole 7, par 4, 475 feet. Off the tee, you want to try and maybe hyzer something through this gap here and at least get to the top of the hill. You don't need to get greedy on this as long as you're in the fairway. It sets you up for a good second shot. However, good shots can get all the way up here with a good skip if you're not coming in too aggressive and skipping left. Your shot into the green is the most difficult because it can be a little treacherous, so anything you have that can land soft or flat is going to be your best bet.
Looks like Weese has moved back to the halo turn on the inside gap. With the full drive, she's not looking for anything conservative.
Ooh, good tree kick at the end to keep her from continuing down the left slope.
And if you do go down that left slope, there's actually an open field that you can play across back up to the basket, so not all hope is lost.
That's true, if you get far enough.
Yeah. Silva kicks early on the left side, does not make it past the corner.
Oh, Valerie goes for actually a flex line, I assume to mitigate the possible flare skip at the end, but she catches the right tree.
Hokom through that corner gap. Ends up on the high right side, which I like.
Yeah. And she didn't end up too far in the right side either with that last tree kick.
Mandujano's second shot.
Not the yellow jackets. Okay.
She has made it to that log. Not sure if there'll be a putt from there. Looks a bit obstructed.
Silva from way down the hill.
Silva, I like how she didn't try to go towards the basket, really. She just went back to the main open fairway.
Yes, a skill that is not always easy. Oh, okay.
Hokom, little tree kick log skip, but she's still putting for birdie.
Silva's third. She had an anti-release because she was also trying to make sure she lands in the green softly, but she catches a tree. That'll be a difficult par save putt.
And look how far Jessica Weese's drive ended up. She's going to go to the knee, take out the Sonic. And she has given herself a very testy putt. High side, downhill. It's not long, but it's not exactly short either.
No.
Ooh, maybe the rock saved her right there.
Yeah, there's a little pocket. Yeah, you can see her disc hanging out on the green.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, Valerie was a bit further back than I thought. Thought she had scooted all the way up to that log. And she's still looking to scramble at this point. Just get it.
Ooh, a good bid, but she just hits the top of the right side of the cage.
Oh no. Valerie with a very long comeback, hits the front of the cage, drops down. Now, didn't you tell us this was the most difficult hole?
It was yesterday. Today, it is the third most difficult.
Jessica went to a knee for her birdie putt and gave it a gentle run, but fell just short front of the cage.
And Hokom in for the birdie.
Silva in for a bogey here on the 7th.
Weese in for par. And Mandujano, unfortunately, in for a double.
Hole 8, a par 3, 283 feet. This is a very unique hole, and today we have a limb on the left side at this dark and lighter tree. They've actually marked as a relief area. You will see it when the players start to throw. A forehand would be preferred here. That'll give you a nice flare skip, even an ace chance I've seen in some of the coverage. Otherwise, I find the backhand to be a bit touchy to actually park this shot. It's easy to get to that corner tree where it's dark and light and get yourself a long putt. Hokom up first, heading right towards those trees. She splits them. Looks like she kicked left, though. She could be in that new relief zone.
Yeah, they have added a drop zone to keep us away from the giant Widowmaker that is up in the tree.
Jessica's forehand kicks early. She is right side. Oh.
An uncommon mistake there, and even she looked confused.
Silva's backhand was just misfired, went to that right corner. She'll be near Weese, and Valerie's forehand, a little early for her. She'll have to scramble for par.
Silva with the step out backhand was looking nice, but catches a tree, and she's still on the fairway. Weese with the forehand spike hyzer gets herself in the circle for par.
Silva almost hits the koozie, and that must be some sticky plastic.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Hit and stick. She'll be playing for a bogey. And Valerie looked like she was about to throw it in until it hit that tree.
Yeah.
Now I think she's in the relief area. Oh, she's not. Or she is. I can't tell. I think she is.
Drop zone?
It is the drop zone with the pink flags there. Weese landed outside of the drop zone. Tries to make good for the par putt. No connection.
Ooh. A good bid from Sarah. She just leaves it right side. Tickles that one outer chain. Valerie with another long putt to save bogey.
I love the hustle her caddy has.
I know.
Jessica Weese in for bogey. Silva in for bogey. Sarah Hokom dropping in the par. Jessica Weese, the only player on this card currently sitting under par for the round.
9, par 3, 250 feet. This is a forehand or a turnover shot that is going slightly uphill. If you give it the right height, you could be parked. Not too much to contend with here, and we've also seen forehand players take the inner right line on more of a flex shot. That's it. That's this hole.
Hokom with a forehand off the tee. Looks like she has a long putt. I haven't seen anyone park this unless they do a higher speed flex shot. I haven't seen anything mid or putter actually get up there near the bullseye yet.
Do you mean specifically on a forehand? Or
no,
in general?
any shot.
Oh, on any shot. Okay. I was like,
oh, look at this. Silva almost throwing it in with what could be a putter.
I would say that looks like a slower disc.
This is the best shot I've seen.
Mid,
from
maybe?
A not high-speed driver.
You just gotta talk it into existence.
Exactly.
That is perfect.
Valerie missed the angle the previous day, but looks like she got it correct today.
Sneaks through.
She'll have a birdie putt. Weese from 38. She'll drop in a par.
Ooh. Nice putt.
Elevata.
From Hokom.
The thing was out of the frame and then in the basket.
I know my brain took a second to process it. Valerie leaves it low and hits the cage. She'll grab the par.
Weese drops in the par.
And on this week's episode of Ace Run Parked, hey yo, Silva for the birdie.
It's the best shot I've seen on this hole.
Me too. And with that, Silva and Sarah will join Jessica Weese under par for the front nine.
There you have it. The front half of day 2 is done. We can take a look at the leaderboard checking in. Look who snuck into the first place spot, Rebecca Cox.
Woo!
Evelina, Jessica, Kristen, and Silva all tied for second, and some familiar names you see right below that. We appreciate you guys tuning in to this very fun wooded coverage here at the Cedar Rock Park. If you'd like to support me, Holly Finley, you can head on over to pharmacbd.com, use code HOLLY for 20% off all pharma products all the time.
And if you want to support me, you can find my tour series Convicts at the Dynamic Disc website. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the back nine.
Look at those sheep and little goats.
I love baby goats. Baby goats are one of my favorite.
Nuzzle.
I like when they just kind of walk around and cry and
I like the fainting goats. When you get all like,
oh, I always feel bad when they faint.
they look so funny. They're all stiff. They got rigor mortis.